Hello, welcome back to our Fanuc robot guide tutorial. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna make this simple tutorial, and then as soon as I find time again, I'm going to make the other tutorials for the ABB robots programming using Robot Studio. Okay, so earlier on I promised that I would show how you could program or write your TP programs outside of Fanuc Robo Guide and or outside of your Teach Pendant basically and upload it to your robot, or as in this case upload it to your Fanuc Robo Guide for simulation purpose. And that's what I'm going to do today. Just stay with me. First, I'd just like to program my simulation cell properly. Uh, right now, I'm using the Fanuc educational cell. You can find it on the Fanuc website for free download. I don't know if it's still there now, though. I got it for free from there. Okay, so when you get it, you just unzip it, and it's an executable file. If you execute it, it loads to your Fanuc. Okay, and now just using the shortcut we know, the control and right click, and you can, and then slide down, move to the position you want to keep it. Okay, then we can rotate it, just right click and revolve it to the position you want to keep it. I like to do this. Okay, then I'll zoom out a bit. All right, so that whatever I'm doing makes sense. I'll just do this a bit again. All right, thank you. As you may have already known, this here is your Fanuc controller, and this is your work cell altogether. This is your Fanuc robot for those who may not have watched our previous videos. So let's get on to business. There are different ways you can program your Fanuc robot guide without using the Teach Pendant, or you can program your Fanuc robot itself without using the Teach Pendant, whichever case you are considering now. If you have a robot guide software, you could use your project, yeah, your project menu, and then you come to new file and you want to write your TP listing program asset.ls. You want to write a TP program asset.ls, right? It's a listing, it's a TP listing instruction. So if you click this, it comes out with a work cell, sorry, with a text editor where you can type your programs basically, and it's numbered for you and all that and all that. Okay, that's for just show sake. But some people complain that this could be a clumsy way to write programs. Some people, not everyone though, because maybe they are not able to navigate to the best place to save the program for themselves. So I might be forced to use two different methods. Use this and use an external text editor, maybe a Notepad++ or just a simple Notepad to write my program. Or well, I would like to use the Notepad to write my program for now, Notepad++. We might use this later on or we might not. It depends. It's up to, if I miss this, type it in the comment section and ask for it if you really need it. Most people don't. Okay, so I'll go to open my, oh good, I already have a file open here. Now, one thing is very important that you should know when you're writing your program outside of your teach pendant. There are key things that must be there and key rules you must follow. If you do not follow them, uploading your program will be a futile attempt. You will just be frustrated with the process. First thing is take note of the file name. And then secondly, you must use a title block. If you are creating the RoboGuide TP program, you must use a title block if you're working outside of your teach pendant. And how do you do that? You just need to create certain keywords. certain keywords. Slash prog space, what's the file name? New, oh, sorry, new underscore 2, and that's it. It's the same exact letters except that you would not need to include the extension. And then you should also take note of the direction of the slash, right? It's not this. No, it's not. It's this. It's not a backward slash, it's a forward slash. Okay, so it's this. Good. Now you've done that. The next element of the title block you should create is the attribute. Note at this stage you're not adding semicolons yet. But if you start writing elements of the attribute, then you will need semicolons. And when you start programming the body, you will need semicolons. All right. So the attribute usually contains information like the owner of the program, the comment you want to add in the heading, the program file size. Usually when you write this program in the teach pendant, the teach pendant will create this title block and create and then give you opportunities to enter the information which you want to include in your header and all that blah blah blah. But if you need to upload the program to the teach pendant, then you must put it in this format first, even if those information are not present, so that the teach pendant recognizes it as a TP listing. So having added the attribute, the next is the application attribute, the application element, the APPL, and then main. If you are familiar with C++ program, you know the main element is always there as part of your program. Well, it's there also here in teach pendant in the TP listing program. Okay, and then you can go on to start writing the body of your program. But your program must also end with two footnotes, which are your position. This position element is where you would, where the controller would store the positions you teach when you're teaching your programs to make it run. The positions you teach will be stored in this section under this element, and then the end element. This tells the controller that your program has come to its end. I hope that is simple. If I miss anything, once again, feel free to ask questions. And please, if you like this tutorial, just click the like button and the like buttons too. It motivates me to go on. All right, thank you. Okay, so back to teaching back to writing your program. I like to add a comment or two. There are a lot of stuff you could put in the comment section. For example, you can decide to put your user frame information in the comment. You can just explain what you like, explain the user frame information, what user frame you're using, like the name of the user frame and all that. Although you could also decide to specify user frames without using the comment, just to specify it for the program functionally, so the program reads the particular user frame you're using. You could put this stuff in the beginning part of your program, but that's for as another business entirely. Right now I'm talking about your, actually it's called remarks, which is different from the comment, right? Your remarks. So to add your remark, you need to use a semicolon. But this takes me to the next issue you should pay attention to. The next stuff you should pay attention to is that Fanuc TP programs need to be numbered. You need to forget about this numbering on Notepad++. Forget about the numberings on the internal text editor on the robot guide. You need to write your program numbers. Otherwise, you would have errors trying to upload your program to the controller. So before you write your lines of codes, you need to number your lines of code, for instance. And then when you number it in this format, number, semicolon. And then I've noticed that it does not matter if your numbers are sequential, the controller ends up renumbering it for you. But write your numbers and write them in the right format. Number one, colon. Then I can decide to add a remark and say remark. I'll keep this program simple. Uh, silly simple. So I'll try to keep this program silly simple. I really need to keep it silly simple. Case. The reason is I believe that complex problems are just an accumulation of several simple problems, so that if you need to solve complex problem, you need to find simple solutions to the simple components of that problem, and then you could solve your problem in the overall, like that. The solutions are always simple anyway. Anyhow, okay, so I'll keep this simple, believing that if you understand the simple example I'm taking, you can understand the more complicated situations you might find yourself in when you're using this in real time. All right, enough of that said. So again, I like to set as a practice, I like to set my override for program testing. It's recommended that you do not run the program at full speed. Now, you do not run your robot at full speed when you're testing it, when you're teaching points, and when you're not using it for production purposes yet, because if you have errors, you don't want to have devastating damages. So, so usually your controller might have been set at T1 mode, which is about 250 millimeters per second speed, or mostly when you're learning in the lab. And then it could be, if it's set at T2, which is 100% of the full speed of that, which is like the auto speed actually, but that's not auto mode, you you might have a problem. So I make it a habit when writing codes in the lab to set my override at, say, about 10% right from the start, right? Okay. And but then you could also, okay, let's continue. I'm talking too much. All right. So number two, I'll say override. This is just a simple program, but a simple program, like I said, keep it simple. No. All caps. Override is equal to 10%. Okay. And now I don't want to get complex stuff, so I will not set user frame and all the rest. But let me go to 3 and say, um, let's move the robot joint mode. Okay. Okay. So joint to just a reminder of what we learned before. The Fanuc program will usually take four important information in most cases: the type of motion, the position. I'll use a placeholder for the position, the speed. Say okay, let's say 50%, and then the speed, and then the termination type. Uh, Fine. It could be fine. It could be continuous certain number, continuous 50 or whatever it is. Okay, and then the semicolon. Do not forget that the semicolon. Okay. Now we've said the robot should move the joint motion type. We need to provide the position for this movement. Position type. So let's say it is okay. Let's say it's a position type P. Position P is for position, definitely. Now apologies, and P outside here, and then P1. I'll call that, label it, say, put a comment there and say home. Okay, P1, which is home, and fine, and then we'll say for knowledge sake, let's use the linear motion type and say linear motion type to linear move to P. Okay, P2, which is where is P2? Say is the end. No, middle. Let's call it the middle position. Okay, mid. Okay, and close that. When you're using the linear type, you don't use percentages to show speed. So I'd say it moves at 200 millimeters per sec. Okay, so that I'll say we terminate it as fine. Okay, should I use? Okay, go on. Just simple. Not much consideration here. Not much complexities, and then file. Oh, no, column, and then joint, and you say P. Now there are different ways you can write your position. You can write your position as a position register PRO, or you can be a PRO of a register that's already existing. Those are other complexities you learn as you develop your skill set in final programming. But remember, we're keeping it fairly simple. So I think it's already getting cloudy now. All right. Uh, okay, so move to, should we move back to P1 or just go to P3? Okay, just go to P3 and call it end and and oh God, to keep it uniform. Okay, and then joint types of 50% and then fine and our case be closed. So now we have written this program. This is what we expect our programs to be. It's gonna move a joint type motion. It's gonna move joint type motion to home, wherever home is, and then it's gonna take a linear motion, a straight line motion from the home position to the mid position, and then it's gonna move a joint type to the end position P3. Now there are other types you could have used the sec move, the sec move, or also which to move in a circular path. But again, like I said, there is a lot of information about this. If you want, I could provide these lessons also in the future. But this is what it is for now. And now your program is set to be saved. You remember, you should try to save your program as the .ls. It should be in .ls. Okay. All right. That is what it is. Now it's time to upload our program. Ta-da, 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 ta-da. Check. My semicolons are intact. This does not need it. My semicolons are intact. Okay. Format intact. Okay. All right. Title block and footnotes. The endings intact. Okay. They're not really footnotes like footers. They end the program. Okay. Good. Okay. Let's try to upload it. Ta-da, 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 ta-da. Now you have to go to the Docker. Okay, on the left hand side of your robot guide, click on in the browser, the cell browser, you click on program. Okay, click on program and you click load program. Then you scroll down to the program you want to upload. Mewtwo. Sounds like Mewtwo from Pokemon. Kaboom! A program is uploaded. Good. If you were to go to the Teach Pendant now, you will find the program there because it's already on the controller. Yeah, but just in case you're wondering, just in case you load your robot guide and just I should add that your cell browser is not there. Don't be frightened. Just go to um it should be view. Yeah, cell browser. It's right there. Click on it, boom, and it's out for you. It's always fun working with these stuffs. Okay, so there we are. If you need a cell program loaded on the Teach Pendant, we can go there. On RoboGuide, it is literally simple. You could just scroll down to a program you want here, and that there is need to, and then you load it, and it becomes your active program. But okay, the usual way I do this is now. Let's not go into all these complexities. Showing it here, but that's not what you want, right? That's not really what you want. And the it's crazy. Okay, the usual way on any teach pendant, any Fanuc teach pendant, you go is to go to select and okay, it's already selected. So go to select and your program is there. And if you if you are to enter, okay, the program shows. Now this is what you will see on your teach pendant, but these are in red because you've not taught the point. As soon as you teach the robot the points, these points will no longer be red and highlighted. They will turn to normal monochrome black and white colors here. Oh, whereas I think the point have been made, but maybe we could just try. I don't want this video to be too long though, for uploading sake, and but maybe we could try to just teach a few points, right? Oh, did we do that in the previous video? Okay, we did. So just watch the previous video and you'll see how you can teach these points, and it's fun. Okay, but well, for now, just demonstrate. I have to. I thought the point right. I don't want to make this video too long. Like I said, it should be out of here in the next 2 minutes. So 2 minutes is too much, by the way. 25 minutes is okay. Shouldn't even go up to 25. So just to show the points we have thought. The points we have taught now. So you have to hold down your shift key if you are simulating with a teach pendant or just moving through the points for testing purposes. Hold down your shift key on your teach pendant and then the forward button. If you like, you can go to step mode and use step mode to step it through, to step through all the points. Or you see, it moves to override. Set the override to 10%. You see that? Set the override to 10%. And then it forwards it to move to that point at 50% of the override, and then go to the next step. Okay, moves back the good and go to fine. Okay, then you see that that is why we set the override. Even if I increase the override speed here to 15%, let's see what happens. It sets it back to 10%. 10% of whatever speed is set on the controller, if it is T1, T2, or auto. Alright, that's fun enough. We are about there. You have a good day. If you have any questions, drop in the comment section. If you like this video, just click like. Thank you very much. Bye.